Hello guys, it's really been a while since my last market and Bitcoin review, and definitely if you will sum it up from my latest video on Bitcoin, you will find out that definitely at that time when we were around $28,000-32,000 range, I was suggesting that Bitcoin is going to follow this fractal, the one that was when we were in the 52,000 area. I was suggesting that Bitcoin is going to follow this fractal and we will see something similar than we saw here. And as you can see, it played out beautifully. Definitely it played out successfully. Our assumptions that Bitcoin is going to dump further and altcoins will follow. We were right about this. The only thing I was wrong about is that my primary suggestion and my primary scenario here was that I was suggesting that Bitcoin is going to find its at least midterm bottom around 22,000-24,000 area and will start consolidation. Definitely this didn't happen. Of course, I wasn't buying here because I never buy without any confirmation, without consolidation and closing of some high time frame candles. Definitely, but of course this was my primary scenario. I had the others if you followed my latest market review, but definitely this one was based only on the psychological factor. What I meant by that is that the market maker, I thought that market maker won't be so eager to allow the crowd to buy around $19,000-20,000, and I told you that maybe they will deceive both sides, the sides of the 28,000-30,000 buyers and those who expect the price around 19,000-20,000. But definitely, as you can see, we broke 20,000 and went below $18,000, and definitely this was one of my second scenarios that I mentioned in my earlier market review, that I mentioned that if we break 19,000 support and psychological level, then I expect the crypto winter to last much longer and the accumulation is going to be harder, and we will see even maybe, I don't know, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but definitely I am sure that we cannot start the new bull run as some may predict right away after we broke this $19,000, especially after we didn't buy back so very quickly after that. We were staying and accumulating and trading through this zone. This means to me that the accumulation has started, but it will be volatile in both sides, meaning like the one that we had here when we had this distribution. The same can happen with volatility here. We can go either like this and go lower to either 17,000 again, or maybe even 13, 14,000. This is where I would buy aggressively and I wouldn't care about the price action anymore. Since then, simply will accumulate if it so happens that we reach that area. Why I'm so pro that position? I'm not standing any ground at the moment, because I think this accumulation, this crypto winter will last, but it will depend how the midterm and local playouts will play out, definitely. So First of all, if you remember, also I mentioned I didn't buy this bottom. I mean, I bought some coins. Definitely, I'm holding and investing according to my strategy. I didn't share it yet, but it's pretty simple. But maybe I will share it soon. I buy gradually, and I bought somewhere here when Bitcoin was around $19,000-$20,000. I was buying some MINA at 58, okay, 59, I guess, cents. And also I bought Polkadot at 650 and one other very risky coin, but I can allow to buy it from my profits. Wouldn't advise you to buy it too, so won't mention it. You can find out what it is if you follow me on my Twitter, which is in the link in the description. You can find it. Definitely. So what you can remember from my last review, that I mentioned that I think the Bitcoin will and the market will find its at least midterm, I'm not saying that macro final bottom of this cycle, but I was saying that at least midterm bottom it will find when Akash Network token will reach its 19,000 support area. And as you can see, we can check this out. I told you about this candle when I saw this sell-off. Probably this were the seed or private sale investors whose tokens were locked for 2 years. I guess that might be the case here, why we sold off here so much. But definitely this week is always a sign for me, and I told you when AKT will reach 18-19 cents, I think it will stop falling and will start growing and the market will stop. So definitely this is what happened. If you followed closely my analysis, you could be prepared for this and use that for your profit and for your trading, for your accumulation, investments, and other stuff. So let's get back to our Bitcoin. So definitely after we broke 20,000, I mentioned on my Twitter account that I was expecting at least midterm support for Bitcoin to find the midterm support. I was using the logarithmic chart, and as you can see, I was looking at our cycles on the high time frame daily chart. As you can see, we always held this support. We held this during each cycle's bottom, as you can see, and now I told you that we have to find it here. As you can see, as a matter of fact, we found at least midterm bottom here. I'm not sure what is going to happen here. I'm not gonna lie, like the others, nobody knows what the market makers and the market prepares for us. I think a few people, and nobody knows that. The market will decide, the mood will decide, and other stuff. But definitely we can come to 19,000 again, and we will come. It is just a matter of time, and the matter of whether we will go lower from here. So definitely for now, if you will find out that the price is going to dive back here below and hold, retest, especially this 22,000 as resistance, we are set to go lower at least to 19,000 at least. And maybe we'll retest again and go lower to 1716, and who knows what happens there. Why I am so sure about this? Definitely if we dive here again below and retest and go lower, definitely we will do something that we follow usually we will have the deviation from this high time frame resistance that proved to be resistant for many times. So definitely, if we do not get back and dive and close below this line, definitely we still can go higher and get to 25,000 or even 28,000 at least, and we will be then back low. This is my opinion. And we had the similar situation here when we were in the range, the high of the range. We tried to break it, breaking a huge global counter trend line. We broke it and we saw the deviation, and once we dived below and closed below, we went sharply down. The same thing happened here. Break, deviation, dive below, closing below, and death of Bitcoin here, as you can tell it. So definitely we have to follow this situation here and how the things are going to go. Why I am so sure about, I'm not bearish, not bullish. Definitely I think both things can happen here. We have to follow simply this situation. Only I analyze the mood of the market, the thing that crypto community is telling, and the market makers always follow the narratives of the crypto community and use them against them. So definitely a lot of people, the thing that I mentioned before, this one, when we always each cycle's bottom, we felt this 200 moving average support. As you can see, we felt it today too. Now we felt it too. But definitely a lot of people see that. And when this regularity was so many times happened, that is why when it becomes the rule, it can be broken by the market maker and it can use it against us. As you can see, we had the rules each time we promoted to the new cycle. We never crossed before. We never crossed the previous cycle's all-time high, and this is the thing that you can see now. We crossed, not only touched, but crossed significantly the previous all-time high, and this is the novelty of this market behavior, because we never done that before. So definitely we can expect more surprises to come. So therefore we may not hold this global trend line as we did before. I'm not saying we won't, but there are possibilities of that. Plus we have these fundamentals that the global crisis, the financial crisis, the geopolitical crises, the resources crises, and other healthcare things, they are not intending to stop. That is why we have to have reasons to think that some things can be different this time. And from the technical perspective, from the technical analysis, I can tell you that Bitcoin still can go lower technically. If I wouldn't think of it in terms of this market maker's psychology and versus the crowd's psychology, if I only use technical analysis, I would definitely tell that we would be back to 14,000. This is the area of our re-high, and this is the area of when the institutionals started to ape in significantly into Bitcoin in 2020. Definitely a lot of buy orders are in this area. So I'm not telling this is going to happen, but I will tell other things to you. This is just to keep in mind and be cold and wise in your decisions. Definitely, if you bought here, definitely you did a good thing, especially if you didn't buy with 100% of your equity. It is a good buy in the long term, and even if we get back and go for $16,000, $13,000, $14,000 some of the assets, like for example Compound, I think, in my opinion, they won't see a new bottom already. I think they met their bottom because they have good and thoughtful market makers that use the Bitcoin's bounces wisely to push their assets higher, much higher compared to other assets, to save them in a good spot. So if Bitcoin goes lower, their bottom will be at their current bottom, so they won't be destroyed. That is why. But some altcoins, as I see them, they haven't even found their bottoms yet, and they have some room to go lower. And I will mention that a little bit later. So what else we have to mention about Bitcoin right now? Just back to our regular chart, and we have this global trend line. Global trend line shows us where the price is going to come in the future, in the next cycle. So a lot of people think, well, we have found our bottom and we are set to the moon. I'm even sure that this is not going to happen very soon. We will have to wait a year or two at least. Why? Because we always follow these global trend lines that we hold for some time, and this trend line is proven as strong support and strong resistance. So that is why I'm going to take it into serious consideration. That means, so if for us to create the new cycle, the new super cycle like we had here in 2021, when the price moved up insanely, this will take a while. Why? Because in order to have that, we have a good and lengthy and significant accumulation by high profile players with big money, new institutionals that will enter this market, and the old ones. So we have to have a long-term accumulation, and then it will have to end up with the I'm sorry, I forgot this word, with the parabolic formation, parabolic ascending. To create that, you all expect that kind of adoption. That adoption will not happen when all the players are ready, if not all the serious players are ready. And for the serious players to be ready, they have to invest their money in this market for years to come, for the 5-10 years, 20 years. And for them to do that, they have to invest, and to invest their multi-billions, even multi-billions, yes. They will have a certain amount of time, starting from half a year, to accumulate in the great zones, and they have to deceive the market, the crowd, like they did with the distribution here, where we will be pushed in both sides to mix our minds and our supports and resistances and other stuff, technical stuff that we use. And this global trend line tells me that we cannot go parabolic right now. So definitely there won't be that kind of bull run that we had in 2020, 2021. This will have to gear up. We cannot, to go further, to go bullish, we need to break this global trend line, secure it, and then go back higher. But usually we don't do with the trend lines like this, and we don't secure them like this. It would happen only if something big and for example BTC spot ETF would be approved. But I think that won't happen right now. A lot of problems with the economy, financial institutions, and other political stuff, crises. That is why I think this global trend line will tell us that will be our resistance, strong resistance for a long time. Definitely, even if we go higher, we will find resistance somewhere around 28 here upon the strong yearly open of 2021. Strong support will become either our strong resistance, and we will be back below around 28,000, or maybe we will, in the moment, we will be able to break up to this global trend line around $32,000. We'll get back down, create the deviation, and be back below. I don't think we will be able to break it for a long time. So definitely for us, this global trend line has to show us the direction of and the price tags, the targets for the next cycle. That is why we have to, for example, if we either go lower right now, or we will retest it, like we always retest our lost global trend lines. If you remember, if you follow me often, my market reviews, you know my style, how I roll, and what I pay attention to. Definitely, if we get retested here, we will get rejected. We will go for longer accumulation. We will have that accumulation, and we will have bull run only when we have this all traded through this accumulation zone. I'm not saying it is going to be that big. It may be that big, maybe not, but definitely I don't think we will break this global trend line soon. This is going to be our point that will tell us where to short or where to expect the reversal, even if the market goes crazy bullish. I think this trend line will be our main obstacle, long-term obstacle for the market to go parabolic. And if the market doesn't go parabolic, no super cycle on the radar until we have some space to create that parabolic formation, as you can see it. So if we look at the lower time frames, let's look at them, what we have right now. Definitely you can see we broke this midterm trend line. Okay, just wait a second. Yeah, midterm, it is not global yet. The global, let's draw the global one, the high and this one. As you can see, it makes the perfect global contra trend line that will be upon the intersection of this range resistance and this global trend line that so basically if we break right now this local resistance, for example, we retest this and hold this 22, 21, 900 support, this red box you can call it, and if we break through this resistance, diagonal resistance, we will be back to 25,000 at least. Maybe we will be back to, let's enable our, turn on our Kijun-san. As you can see, not the 4-hour time frame but the daily, and you will have a clear vision here. As here, what you can see here, definitely you can see one thing. So technically we did what I expected us to do. We went lower, but definitely we are in a tight spot here. We got a lot of supports here and a lot of resistances. So definitely we can go in either direction right now. Definitely if we lose this one, we will have support somewhere here around this line. If we retest it and find resistance again upon this 22,000, then we'll go lower. And this Kijun resistance is strong, and I think we either go like this and get there back, and maybe lower upon the expansion, and maybe even find some lower lows, building the accumulation, long-term accumulation. If not, if we get bought back upon this and we'll hold this one, we will probably break this resistance. Oh, not using the wrong tool. If we break this, we can find here resistance and we will go back under. That would, and if we get rejected right there, that would be even stronger than from here for me. If we reclaim this in some sort of here, or we can remove here, but if we reclaim this Kijun support, that would be a long situation for me. In case we secure this Kijun daily resistance as support, and it becomes our support, then it is bullish locally until this resistance is around, as I said, 28, 30 to 31,000. But I'm not sure we will get that high, because I see at a lot of altcoins that we have a lot of uncovered wicks, a lot of inefficiencies that they need to go lower, they want to go lower. So Bitcoin also shows me some signs that it wants to go lower. Let's get back to our weekly chart, Bitcoin chart, and let's look at our, let's turn on the 200 moving average that everybody is talking about. For example, if we lose it on the daily right now, if we will hold it, definitely we'll have some swing move higher, and we will see whether our daily Kijun will hold it. If not, if we break it, we go until that global counter trend line around 28,000. If not, then we will be back lower. And if we dive below this blue line, and you can see below this 50 moving average, definitely going lower. But if not, let's look at some more strong indicators, because definitely our monthly is going to close with a green candle, which supposes that we will be able to, we will do one of the two things. We either break this counter trend line and go retest here around 2019 or 20,000 plus, and we will go for a retest here. We are in very uncertain space here, because our Kijun shift is telling us that we are not in a place that we are going to be stuck in this area for a long time, I guess. Maybe even lower, maybe. But the thing is, look at the weekly, the thing that everybody is telling us, that everybody is telling us that we have the same situation, right, like we had here. Let's switch to this chart. It is going to be clear. Yes. The thing that we had here, we found bottom here, we found bottom here, and they claim that we found it here, and it is similar. It may be, but for now I'm not sure about it. Why? Because I see differences right here. When we were during the past cycles bottoms, we found our bottom around that 200 moving average, and we, even if we broke it, we recovered and bought back above it very quickly. But this time you can see that we are staying below it still, and we are rejecting upon it. Definitely we had some kind of false break here, but definitely if we won't break and secure that 23,200 as support, there is no go higher until we secure it. And if we, as long as we remain under it, under this 200 moving average, there's nothing is going to happen. Okay, now just take a look at some of our altcoins, especially those altcoins that are telling me that we are not over with the accumulation, with the descending market. Let's look at the TRX Tron. I mentioned this on my Twitter account. As you can see, we have a clear global contract trend line and the clear invalidation here, where we had a fake out and dived below and dumped heavily here. As you can see, if you look at this chart on every time frame, we lost here abruptly, we lost here the global contract trend line. But if we look at this weekly, we got an uncovered week, and we always cover them. You see here, we covered it here. The same thing will happen sooner or later right here. If we look at the monthly, and we have the same situation here. Let's enable those drawings. They can be a little bit disturbing, but they tell me a lot about the Tron situation and what to expect next. Sooner or later, we either our next monthly, definitely this one has to hold, I think, this month. Whether it closes green or daily or red, it doesn't matter. We will be opening here within this triangle since again. And I think this time we will be back at least to 6 cents or 5.9 and 5.8. And at some point, I am sure that, as you can see, Tron has already started to descend here. Let's enable our Gaussian send, and we are losing it on the daily. Let's get back to our super trend indicator. What we got here? Great resistance. We tried to test it. As you can see, we tried to break it. I was shorting it from 7 cents, but then I got stopped out when they tried to remove people from the shorts here. So I'm not in the position here, but this asset definitely is telling me that we are going to go lower. If this is not going to be, this candle daily is not going to be bought back, and we will close below this Gaussian shift resistance, then we will retest it and we'll go lower right to the target that I told you. We will be upon 5.9, 6 cents. And we will see what is going to happen further. Either we go like this and go lower, finally recover this uncovered zone, or we will be going lower straight away. The time will tell. So definitely TRX is telling me a lot what I got to know. And not only it, if we look at near, let's look at the near, what we got here. Okay, definitely we retested our previous range resistance and got rejected. Definitely you can use this spot to place conditional delayed longs. Definitely if we reclaim at some point and break this line, it goes higher until this global counter trend line around 598. Great profit can be taken here and will be maybe rejected here. These are the lines for you for free to know where to enter safely, because you know if it breaks it, if it either goes higher straight away, or if it gets absorbed and closes at least with the hourly candle below this line, then you have to bail out and you have a short stop and you are safe. Now we are crossing a lot of global trend lines here. We have all of them not clear here because the price action was kind of shady here. Definitely if we close below, we have got to, we will be able, if we dive below this one, we can retest it and go at least to 270, 260 for near. I'm looking closely to near because I want to accumulate this one. This one is very promising for me. This blockchain is new, fresh, and it has an expanding huge ecosystem. It's stablecoin and other DeFi projects, NFT. The ecosystem is growing. As I mentioned before, I am expecting it to be added to the Grayscale fund, either single asset or in the joint asset fund in the next 1-2 years, I guess. We'll see about that, and that will be designed to buy aggressively this asset, and it will drive it either to $20 or $30 in the future. So definitely I'm looking. The reason I didn't buy near at this time yet is only that I'm sees the signs. If you look at the 4-hour time frame, I see those signs that this coin is going to, you see this sell-off candle closed with the red. This is the sign for me that we will be back to 20, 280, 265 zone, and 250 to 65 zone, 270 is a good buy for the long term, definitely, especially that you can hold this, use this, and stake, put this asset in the pools, and definitely you can trade it and use it as margin to accumulate and multiply your near assets. And definitely my expectation, the best expectation I can have to buy it around, I don't think it is going to 170, but I think it can go until $2 in the worst scenario, and frankly I'm looking for that situation because we have the re-high point here 2 times. We had this re-high, and I'm expecting it to be the 3rd time here, not around somewhere here higher maybe. So definitely $2 270 is a good buy for near long term, and accumulation anytime lower it goes. So, and these are my thoughts about near. Definitely pay attention. Not a financial advice, of course. MATIC. as you can see, I shorted MATIC, this Polygon token. Successfully here we got a clear invalidation and deviation here upon this global counter trend line and this local line. I shorted from here to here successfully, then we broke it, reclaimed here. It was obvious to me here that we are bullish already, and before I was telling you that as soon as we break this resistance, this green box, we are bullish, and we went bullish and right until the next global range resistance. Definitely this was upon the news that of the mysterious Polygon's announcement, and it was revealed recently. What can I say? It is not the announcement, the news that is going to drive the price higher, definitely, because a lot of people don't understand the technical integrations, what they mean, and definitely this integration do not create the demand for this coin in the moment. It is not creating the new NFT market and launching the new global NFT collection like it was with Solana and other stuff. It is just launching the zero knowledge EVM, and as a matter of fact, a lot of experts in the zero knowledge technology, they have already criticized the Polygon's MATIC network zero knowledge EVM, because they are saying that you can check out their source code and you can see that it is not zero knowledge actually, and the founders of the Polygon, they have already blocked in the Twitter those experts in the zero knowledge technology who were criticizing their release. I have no reason not to believe them, but also I'm not thinking that Polygon is going to be unsuccessful. Definitely a lot of people aped into it and they will support it nevertheless, whether it goes analyzed to them, whether it is true and they created something unique. I don't think so. They just, MATIC is supported by strong and powerful people behind them, and they have strong high profile partnerships. Definitely, what do I have here? I expect from MATIC for this coin to chill out a little bit after this. After we broke here, it was obvious for us that we have to long. It run upon this hype, but definitely I have some scenarios for this one. We either reject here, get rejection, we go lower, retest here, this 73-70 zone, either like this or like this, or we will, depending on Bitcoin price action, how it is going to behave, definitely, or we are going to follow this one weekly. Technically, we can go, if we were on the extremely bullish market, Polygon could go even break this super trend and find resistance right here. This is where I would short 100% and wouldn't be scared, because this global trend line and Kijun is not occasionally in this place. They would go like this, but I don't think we are powerful enough with this one. This news wasn't very surprising for everybody and didn't create more hype, so definitely a lot of people will be selling. We either go right here, right from here, and go even, I think, lower back sooner or later, or we will retest this one. Maybe we'll have a little fake out, and we'll be back right here. If we have this deviation, it is a short situation, and you can short and have a good invalidation place. Definitely, I think we will come sooner or later to this support, whether we like it or not. Why we are? Because if we will look at the monthly, we have left this uncovered wick, and it has to be traded through on the monthly. So sooner or later we can go there, but it might take a lot of months. I'm not telling it is going to happen right now. Maybe when you already forget about it, or maybe we won't come there. It will be, it is getting interesting. Today, if MATIC is going to hold this and break it, it is a long situation until we find break and find some resistance right there and get rejected. If we break it, if MATIC, whatever you call it, sorry guys, and if we break below, get retested here upon collision resistance, then we are going lower, significantly lower, maybe even up here, 50 cents, but 70 cents 100%. So definitely follow the basics that I am sharing with you multiple times already. Every time I'm sharing with you the same mechanics that you can be sure from my previous analysis that they work. Definitely what we have on link, interesting situation here. I posted after this candle, I posted that it is a short situation here, and it hasn't played out yet, and I drew even that we will be back to 573 somewhere here sooner or later, or even to 530, 540, but later. Definitely on the weekly it doesn't seem scary at the moment. Let's look at the monthly. Not looking scary at all here, but we have other altcoins that are telling us that we can go lower. For you for your trading purposes, you can use this super trend and collision resistance. If the market feels some kind of strength, you can see a strength on Bitcoin breaking up, you will be able to open long upon this 47 and 3 spot. Longing here will be safely, because if we break this one and close and hold it and don't get back, it is going to go until to 950 definitely, and only then we will meet some kind of resistance maybe. But this is a strong sign here. It's strong situation. It is a strong resistance, and definitely we have already retested it of being a strong resistance and telling us that the trend is going to continue, the downtrend in our situation. But if we change that today and close our daily breaking this resistances, then we are bullish. Definitely a good signal here for a long. Let's look at what other stuff we can look at. MINA. Well, I bought MINA at 58.7 here. Will remind myself, where did I buy here? I bought right here when we were losing it. I wasn't holding it. I was waiting I placed a delayed stop buy order here in case we break 58.7, and I woke up and my bids already were filled. Since then it was already profitable nicely. Since then it made more than 45%. Great entry for me, but I'm holding still, and I think MINA still has the place to go back below. We have this uncovered wick, I marked it. We will have to cover it too, so I think to 60 cents we will be back. The rest will be decided and clear later. Definitely we tried to break this previous resistance, previous ranges resistance, and we closed with an absorbing candle. Definitely that was the sign for me that we are going lower, and definitely, as you can see right now, we are going lower. If we close the daily with this red candle, we will have to retest it tomorrow, this Kijun resistance, and we'll be back to 58.60 cents. This is a clear level to level play out. In case we are reclaiming this and this local trend line as support, we are and promote to a higher range, secure it, then we are bullish, we're going higher. But for now I see the opposite situation, and clearly this is the situation that I was expecting. We have 5 days until the month end, and I am thinking that monthly closing and weekly closing are going to be essential for us. Let's look at Solana a little bit. Solana has got a lot of supports here, as well as a lot of resistances I can see here. Now Solana is testing its super trend support right now. If it gets bought back and breaks this resistance, it is going to $50 and even maybe 58, because there is a range resistance here. Then we will be rejected. Maybe we'll retest this one, and here it is going to be more interesting because we will have the intersection of two supports here, and even Kijun. Losing it would mean we are going to my long-term target of $21.19 Solana, but I'm not sure right now that we will reach it. As you can see, we still on the weekly we are looking promising. If we won't hold this support, we are going definitely lower. If we won't hold this intersection of supports, we are going lower to my global target. If we are getting bought back, we are getting higher and are set to retest this 58 at least, maybe like this, but not yet. Until we are under these resistances, we are not talking any bullish scenarios at the moment. Talking about Ethereum, as you can see, I mentioned before in my previous latest market review that I am expecting Ethereum to come into this global trend line, even drew some local channels here, and we found support here splendidly. As you can see, 3 times touched this global trend line as support. It was the sign that we are going higher. A lot of people got too bullish on it. We have a strong resistance here. It was very clear to me. We got this. Definitely this time we either retested the support this super trend and occasion as support and go higher back, retest maybe this global counter trend line, get rejected. This is just the scenario, the possibility, and get back below. If I see that, that would be a clear sign for me of the deviation and a great chance to short, right? Either here if we close below it, or somewhere when we retest it here. So definitely, if we are talking about global situation for the Ethereum, I think it can go up on until its counter trend line, but definitely it has still got some room to go lower. Definitely this zone is the ultimate zone that can be our 500, 450, 650 dollars is the ultimate if the market Bitcoin capitulates. But I am not talking about it just yet because I have to see some confirmations. We haven't closed any weekly yet. Yeah, we are feeling nicely this resistance, this range resistance, but still during this week we can reclaim and retest it and get back lower. Or if we start closing with red candles, definitely we are going immediately upon the retest lower. So playing it level to level, playing it nicely. A lot of people are let's look at my compound chart. As you can see, I have a great conviction in this asset. I think it's underperforming. It was falling faster and stronger than everybody expected. Definitely, as you can see, it fell sharply, but unlike Aave and Maker and others, Compound has a great potential of return based on this global trend line that can be our next cycle's resistance. But even if it not, it still can be more profitable than others, even if it goes to $531. If you bought at the bottom that I mentioned in my Twitter posts, definitely you would be rewarded for that. Okay, you can see that even if the market, I think this asset has already found its global bottom. I think that even if the market and Bitcoin goes much stronger down, Compound will be good and will find its bottom again here, and it won't go lower than $27-30. Definitely $35-27 is a good buy, long-term buy for Compound. So I'm staying. Now let's take a little bit of time and look at NEO. A lot of people are aping into this. I know this is an old coin that actually was running good, was promising a lot of things, that they will be the killer of Ethereum, but they failed to prove that. Definitely they are working. They released in this cycles period, they released their NEO 2.0 version and nothing happened. That is why they pumped so heavily to $140 from $5-8. Great return, and I was long in it in 2021. If somebody is old enough, with me on Twitter to remember this, and I had some great profits on this one. But now a lot of people still believe in it and they are buying it. I'm not that optimistic, but definitely it will give you some profits, definitely. If you can see, I have a clear resistance here when we got rejected. Definitely, again, as a lot of altcoins right now, they are strictly upon finding resistance upon this Kijun resistance. Great. Now it is important for us to retest this super trend. If we won't break it, we will be able to break this one. If we secure it, then we will be able to break this range resistance, retest it as support, and go higher to $16. But I am not sure about that. We will hold this super trend. If we break it, we'll retest it, and we can go lower to $5.80, $5.50, $5, $5.30, and this would be a great buy in the long term for me. In my opinion, I think this long term buy zone is just splendid, and it proved twice already, and I think it can prove to be a good support once again. But if you expect some extensive, I don't know, a good profit compared to other assets on the market, I am not that optimistic about this idea, because I have a clear understanding where this coin is going, and where probably I'm not a person who knows anything, but I'm just relying and I am just trust my knowledge, my education in this, and reading the charts and my trend lines. And definitely, as you can see, previous cycle, 2018 cycle, we found top here. 2021 lower. This is on the global chart. We are drawing each time the lower high. So in my opinion, you can see 2024, 2024, and these are the years that we usually expect the new bull run, the new cycle, the super cycle. So definitely this is the target, ultimate target for me, where NEO is going to find its high during the next cycle. If it is good and enough for you, then definitely you can buy it somewhere here from $5 to $9 and hold it. Around $70, $79, $77, this is going to be the top, in my opinion, for the NEO. Maybe next cycle, after we go something like this, get this accumulation, come here, get rejected, go back low, we will find it, then we will be suppressed here, we will narrow this triangle, then maybe NEO will make something meaningful, and something definitely great to pump this one up to its previous and first all-time high. But until then, I am not that optimistic about the returns from this coin. Of course, they can be useful for serious people who who extend on crypto is just enough, and even great if you have significant amount of equity. But if you are not and you are looking for a little bit more, 20, 30, some other stuff, I don't know, definitely this coin is not going to outperform itself, in my opinion, my personal opinion, not a financial advice. I may be wrong about it, but I rely on the things that I usually rely on and that usually work for me. So what else we have here? Okay guys, I think it is enough for today. If you have any suggestions or your coins you want me to look at them and give my personal opinion and analysis, then write them in the comments and or follow me on Twitter accounts. Subscribe. In the description you can have my handle. Be patient, then accumulate your bags for the new cycle gradually. Don't place everything in one asset and in one place. Be wise and react to what you see on the chart. Good luck to you guys.